Dad's super into like cars, or like back when he was younger. He and Uncle Robert would take apart a car, just like a computer. They would take out the whole engine and rebuild it or something, and then put it back into the car. And like they'll fix up cars on the weekends, and yeah, it's really interesting.
I didn't
know that. He was just super into cars, and he had this like what is it? What's the Nissan one that is super popular? It was like a small. It wasn't a Mazda.
350.
I have no idea.
Nissan 350? No? Like the two-door one?
I don't know. Yeah, it was two-door one. It's a small, compact one.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah. Because I don't know cars. I hate cars. But
I feel like I'm always like, what is he going to say next?
He's super comfortable around us. But then, like, in public, he was never that comfortable to, like, talk to people and stuff like that. I don't know if you remember that. But, like, he had to kind of, like, force himself to like get out of his own shell and become like less of an introvert, but then it turned into like him trying to talk to everybody.
Oh my god, I didn't even know he was an introvert at all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying too. But yeah, no, he was telling me, or he told me, like, you know, when I was younger, he was telling me like, yeah, you know, I'm trying to like break out of my shell and come out more and stuff like that, and try not to be so quiet and stuff. Yeah,
that's very interesting. I didn't know that. I remember him telling us stories about when he was a kid that he was super introverted, but now like all I know of him is like he's this loud person that is
he's so loud,
doesn't give an F, you know, about anything about what other people think. And I think to some degree, like I can learn a lot from that because I'm such a people pleaser, you know, and I always like, oh shoot, like read into things like, oh, what if I said this and they offended them, or like what did I think when I said this, you know, like, and it's just so like annoying sometimes. I'm like, why am I overthinking this? Like they literally probably didn't even think about this, and I'm over here spending my time thinking about this for like the past 20 minutes for what, you know, like just because
exactly.
It's really frustrating. And sometimes, and I'm trying more now to not do that anymore. It's like I don't think I intentionally ever like try to offend someone or hurt someone's feelings, you know. And I think whenever I overthink, it's always just me second guessing myself. I'm like, oh, but what if they took it this wrong way? I'm like, and looking back, I'm like, if they really took it that way, they should tell me and then I can apologize for it. But other than that, they probably didn't even think about it at all, you know. And it's just all me. But it's so much easier said than done.
It really is. I had a similar situation where like we were a couple of days ago when we were in San Diego, or heading down to San Diego, we stopped to use the bathroom at a Jamba Juice. We walk in and the two people at the cashiers, they're like they see us walking in. Mama once goes to the bathroom and they see me walk in and ready to take my order. And I knew I wasn't going to get anything. But I legit stood there as Mama was in the bathroom and looked at the menu for like 5 minutes straight. Because I didn't want to tell them that, oh, yeah, we're just here to use the bathroom. And I was just afraid that they would kick me out, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
And I was just be like, they'd be like, yeah, you can't do that. You have to like leave. And if you're not buying anything, you can't use the bathroom and stuff like that. And so like, yeah, so Mama used the bathroom. I stood there for like 5 minutes looking at the menu, and then eventually I pulled my phone out and pretended I was looking up things about the menu, because I literally did like this. I literally went like that, and I was looking at the phone and I was looking at the menu, and I pretended for 5 minutes straight that I was about to order something.
Why didn't you just order something?
Because we had coffee already, and we were still drinking our coffee, and we got Starbucks. Like legit 30 minutes before we got Starbucks, and I didn't want anything else. And I was like, it feels so awkward to like stand there and
especially if you're the only ones there, right?
Yeah, exactly. We were the only ones there, and they're literally just waiting by the cashier. They were kind of like doing their own thing, pretending to do their own thing, and occasionally they just like look up at me. I'm like, ugh. Gonna look at that.
That's so look at the menu, funny. Look at the phone. That's so
awkward. And then Mama comes out of the bathroom, and then I'm like pretending to discuss with her, but she's not having any of it, because she's not like a person who would like do anything like that. She would be like, yeah, just somebody use the bathroom and let's get out of here. And then I'll be like, hey, so do you want anything on the menu? And then she's like, you want a drink? She's like, no. She's like so confused. She's like, no, I don't want anything. Like, what are you talking about? And then we leave. No. And then she goes, before we leave, she's like, don't you have to use a bathroom? I'm like, no, I don't need to use a bathroom. But I kind of did, but not really.
Not enough.
Not right now, not anymore. She's getting mad at me. She's like, didn't you want to use the bathroom? Go use the bathroom. I'm like, no, it's fine. We'll just go. Yeah, it is kind of annoying, but I feel like this is how I am right now.
Yeah, I get it. I know. Isn't that funny though? Because I feel like I'm less likely to give an F when it's like complete strangers that I know I'll never see again.
Yeah.
It's more so people that I feel like I'm not super comfortable with that I have to interact with on like a regular basis. That I'm like, okay, I have to be on my like tip top, personality and like make sure I don't say the wrong thing,
You're right.
That's what I second guess a lot. But if it's like on vacation, I'll be as loud or like obnoxious as I want to be. Obviously to like the degree of not like being offensive or anything like that,
right.
but just like being myself and like,
unapologetically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And not worrying about what they have to think about me because whatever.
Yeah. That's funny. So are you, I feel like that's like, that fits you. Like that's how I growing up. That's like how you kind of were as well. Like being like unapologetically you. Do you get like social anxiety?
Yeah,
around certain situations and stuff? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, especially like big groups of people that I don't know anybody, like if I'm with, somebody that I know, then I'm less likely to be socially anxious, I guess. But if it's like the MIT thing, so I went to a hackathon at MIT, didn't know anybody going into it, flew across the country for the first time by myself. And I think I was still in high school at the time. Is that right? Or maybe it was college. I don't remember, but I was pretty young, like barely 18, 19, I think. And I flew across the country and didn't know anybody, didn't know any, it was crazy. And that really got me out of my shell.
Oh, nice.
But even so, I was still super nervous and scared and anxious. And this is so weird.
That's funny. Yeah. I think kind of like a similar experience where, I didn't fly across the country, but I took a communications class in college. Or like a public speaking class, and where you were forced to get up there in front of the class and give a speech and talk for 5 minutes straight. And so before I took that class, I was super just quiet person. I don't like to interact with people. I didn't like to people who I don't know. I really hated talking to because I just don't know what to say. But then after the public speaking class, I felt super confident in
that's
talking,
cool.
which is really weird because I was nervous as hell going into the class.
Yeah,
and then
sure.
after I took the class and after the semester, I was way more confident in my speaking abilities and being able to bullshit with people a lot more. Just even though I don't know anything about what someone's talking about, I can pretty much get through a conversation without finding myself feeling super awkward in it.
Gotcha. That's good. That's cool that you were able to learn something. I feel like a lot of people take those classes and they're like, oh, that's a complete waste of time. But that's good.
Or shut down even more.
Yeah, true. That's good that you got something out of it. I feel like those classes are really nerve-wracking. Just presenting in general is really nerve-wracking. I am so in awe of people. When I hear CEOs speak, TED Talks, or just a CEO presenting, or some big person presenting, and just the way that they present, each presenter is so different, and I just love seeing the way that they convey their ideas and the confidence and stuff. I'm damn, I wish I could do that and have that level of just poise, I guess. I don't know, they have certain things to them that make them so wow,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's really cool.
Yeah, and I feel like all of that is it can be learned
for sure.
I don't think they were born with that natural talent.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it is just learned and practice and stuff. And I think what I've discovered through the public speaking classes, I'm sure everyone is like this too, but I'm very good at talking about things that I know very well. And I'm sure you can talk, for hours and hours straight about things that you're very knowledgeable about and are very confident in. And that built my confidence a lot during that class was even though I didn't know about a topic, but I would research and write a whole speech, right? I'll write a whole 2-page speech about it or whatever. And research it very well to the point where I can just I know that I have it memorized in my head, and the piece of paper is just like a guide for me almost, and I can just kind of like spitball on the fly. Like I got to that point at the end of the class where I can like I can just learn a lot about one single topic, and then I have a general idea, or like I have a script memorized, and then I can just improvise on the spot.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, so it's
I
really
think that's
fun.
super helpful in certain situations. Like dealing
Especially
with clients too. I'm sure that comes in
with
handy.
clients. Yes, exactly, with clients. And like I can, because we've done films for so long, we can like talk about. I'm really comfortable talking about like the different scenarios, any questions that they throw at us.
Yeah.
I can like answer pretty confidently nowadays. And then another thing that really helped was going live on these social media platforms. So like Instagram Live or like TikTok Live. Like I just did TikTok Live before I left to San Diego to shoot a wedding the night before. I went live on TikTok, and I just had a fun time. I always have fun time going live on these platforms. And at first it's like super nerve-wracking because like you're like, oh no, what's gonna happen? Right? Because it's all unplanned, it's all unscripted. You're not shooting a video here, so it's like you're going live. Everything that you say will be like unedited, unfiltered almost. Right. So it's a little bit more like nerve-wracking, but like I love going live. I love being able to like
interact.
I don't know, interact with people, like, and see like people asking questions and interacting with you on the fly in real time. I think that's something so cool. And yeah, I would never have gotten to be like super comfortable like this if it wasn't for public speaking classes.
How interesting.
Yeah. And it's so ironic that I'm still like struggling to go into like real life places and just say, hey, I'm just here to use the bathroom.
I think if it wasn't so, I think it's taboo. Is that the right word? Like it's frowned upon to do that, right? Like I don't even know if it's illegal. Is it a law that you have to do that? I know some people, like if they say no public bathrooms, like I think they have it on like a sign that says no public bathrooms, and you have to pay to order something and then use the restrooms. I think if I was in that situation, I'd feel a little bad too. I'd like walk in and I'd be like, okay, I'll just buy something, I guess, if I'm the only one in here.
Yeah, I know. It was like so awkward too, dude. It was just so awkward. There were two people waiting for me, staring at me. And then eventually one person went to the back at the jump. They went to the back. And then after a couple of minutes, I see her poking her head out like that through the door. She's like waiting for me to order her something.
They're probably so bored. Like, are you going to order something so I can actually do some work? Or
because it was dead there. It was dead. Are you good with like people like one-on-one, like strangers one-on-one versus like in a crowd? Or are you more comfortable with like strangers in a crowd?
No, I mean, just in general, I feel like I do better one-on-one or like smaller groups of people. I just feel like I can be myself more. Because then I feel like when I'm in a group of people, everyone's watching me, and it makes me really nervous, and I say dumb shit more often when there's more eyeballs on me. And so I personally like having more like personal conversations. That way, like you can actually like hear from everybody. I feel like oftentimes during like group conversations, I'm usually like very quiet because sometimes like I'm not very funny, or like I don't have anything funny to say, then I don't interject. And like there's usually like a lot of loud personalities in the group, and so I just like let them kind of control the conversation, and I kind of just sit back and laugh and listen to the conversation. Versus like if it was like a group of 4 people, it's a lot easier to kind of like talk to one another and allow everybody to talk. Versus like a bigger group, it's a lot harder. I don't have that big personality, I don't think. It has to be like the right group.
Yeah, it does. I think like I'm very comfortable obviously with like friends and people like I know and stuff like that, and I can be like stupid and just like talk way more loosely than like I don't have to like think about or plan out what I have to say, every single word I have to say. Like I want to be like that with strangers. Like I don't want to be like holding back and like hide a certain part of like me, I guess.
I getcha.
You know what I mean? Like, make sure that every single thing that I'm saying, like, doesn't make me look stupid.
Yeah. Or, like, weird or whatever.
Or weird, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I get that. I feel that way, too. But it's not more, like, strangers. If it's, like, people I'm trying to be friends with or something, then I get a little more anxious. Like, oh, shoot, I gotta say the right thing so they don't think I'm weird and like not want to be friends. But if it's just like a random stranger, like a waitress or someone we see that like just, we talk to, then I'm like, I have no problems just being 100% myself because I'm like, I'm never going to see you again, so whatever.
Yeah, exactly, yes. Another experience I've had was that I went to Erewhon down here in LA. I told you about that, right? Okay, and then I went one morning to go get a smoothie for Meow Meow before she woke up, and because she's been dying to try a certain smoothie and stuff. And so I went in, and okay, so Erewhon is like, for those people who don't know, it's like a really high-end grocery store, I guess. It's all organic, gluten-free, all these like healthy alternatives and stuff like that for groceries. And a lot of like rich people go to that. Like it's catered to like a high-end customer base, right? So like people who are celebrities and like make a ton of money and stuff like that. And then I go in and I'm standing in line, and the person in front of me, he's like some Russian guy. But you can tell that he has money, right? He doesn't care about the fashion. Like, he doesn't care about what he's wearing. Like, he's literally wearing sweats, but they're like Hugo Boss sweats and like Versace t-shirt and stuff like that. I'm like, Jesus Christ. And like, he's wearing a gold chain around his neck. I'm like, what the hell? Like, you walk in and you're like, oh, that guy's these people are in a different tax bracket, bro.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Right? Like, these are people who are like up there. And so like I'm standing in line and he goes to pay and he pulls out a wad of cash and he flips through the cash and he's like paying the like all hundreds,
wow.
Right? And he's paying the person, the cashier. And then I go up, and then it's my turn. I go up, I'm like, dude, I don't want to pull out my Bank of America credit card right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just feels so shit. And it feels just so awkward. And I feel like everyone behind me is staring at me like, oh my God, that Bank of America credit card. This guy is poor. This guy is poor for sure. And it just feels so awkward. And like the effect that money and power and status has, like when everyone around you feels like they're like super successful and like wealthy and like super, I don't know, just have a ton of money, and then you're standing there and you're like, you feel like you're super out of place and like you don't have as much, or like you don't, I don't know, you just don't belong, I feel like.
Yeah.
Or at least that's how I felt.
I think when you get up to that kind of status, you honestly don't give an F, right? Like, they don't care if you have whatever, right? Like, they could probably care less, to be honest.
And that's like to the point, like what you're saying, like other you like we stress, like ourselves, we stress about it so much, but to the other people, it's like they don't even notice it.
Yeah, they're like on their phone, on like
exactly. They don't even care about it, and it's like, but we're out here stressing out so much about something so dumb.
I know. Honestly, sometimes like in the moment, it's so hard to snap yourself out of that. But then looking back on the situations like similar to that, I'm like, that was so dumb. Like, I don't know why I feel that way, you know? Like, I know my own worth. I know, all, like, my life and all that kind of stuff. Like, I shouldn't feel that way, Like, feel so bad about myself. And it's just so crazy, like, what your mind goes to in certain situations like that. It's like, wow, I really sabotaged myself on that one. Which sucks. I hate it. Like, I feel like, for me, it's one of my like super annoying traits that I like want to change about myself, but it's really hard to. It's like in the moment, like your brain takes over and you can't control, how you feel, what you say, what you do, and it's just like, why?
That's it for this episode. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed what we talked about in this episode. If you want more content from us, make sure to follow us on our social media channels. We'll have links in our bio or description. Have a great day.